So I decided to do another outdoor thing. This is from the Roger Williams Japanese garden here in Providence, Rhode Island. I took this picture last spring. In the picture, I needed to have more of this ground down here, so it ends up with the little stone edge going right into the corner, so I'm not going to let that happen. But I didn't want to just have the bush down here. I wanted to have some of the grass too. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put my little edge here so that I'm really composing. I'm composing to the framed size of the paper, not the whole paper. I know this maybe seems like a silly thing, and I talk about it every single time, but that is because every time I don't do it, I really regret that I didn't do it. So, okay, so I've got this little house over in here, so I might just bring it out just a little more. Here's that. There's some trees up in here. Here's that white tree. Here's the bridge. There's this little thing with the bridge. This comes around, there's a stone here. And this tree. Okay, so don't let this get out too much. And then there's all these other trees back here. Pine tree action. Maybe I'll just leave that house out because really it's not doing that much for me. So one thing you can think about too is like when you're looking at, if you're looking through your viewfinder, you're looking at the photograph, how far over does something come? Like this, the top of this tree is right about in the middle. So even if you don't have a grid or anything, you can kind of be thinking, where do things come compared to the middle of the page? This is that shrubbery back there. There's some more darks in here. Oh, that comes down and touches that rock even. Actually, this comes up a little bit higher. No, I just wanted to put a few of those trees in there just to get an idea about it. Oh, I don't think that comes out that far. I'm not spending too long in any one place because it's really important to me to try to take control of the whole piece of paper. And so here, like here's the middle of my page. So this has to come out even a little further. I've drawn these bridges several times now, and I never have very good luck if I have them really in the foreground. It's much better if I have them in the background. And I'm sitting down, I'm pretty sure I was sitting down when I took this, so I can see under the bridge. So I need to be sure I get that feeling of the under the bridge. do not know what that was supposed to be. What was that thought? Oh, okay, so there's grass, and then here's the tree, comes down over the bridge. I'm going to change that a little bit too. I'm going to make this bush kind of come up in front of there a little tiny bit. And then have a space right there. Oh, and I'm working on the Sennelier Le Carte paper. Same thing, I don't really like it, so I'm just trying to use it up here for demonstrations. It's not that it's so bad or anything, I just don't like it as well as the Pastel Premier. That's all. But you should definitely try a bunch of stuff, just don't take my word for it. And the best thing to do really is order that that sampler from Dakota Pastels. They have a sampler that they send you little pieces of all their sanded paper. All right, so maybe that's enough of a drawing to start with. Okay, so I am going to start with the sky. It's not a sunny day, it's a gray day here. So, oh shoot, this old problem. I tell you, really, my easel is just driving me crazy, and you'd think I would do something about it. All I keep doing is sticking pieces of stuff between it to try to make it not bounce so much. Okay. Okay, so I'm using just a light violet. I mean, definitely it's a bluer color than that, but that's just my first best guess at it. And now I'm gonna, what I liked about this photograph actually, weirdly, is that I felt like the trees in the distance there, they weren't just gray. They have like a little bit of start of some sort of color to them. So I just wanted to I don't know. I just sort of just wanted to paint that partly because of the color of these trees back there. Okay, so you can see right away I don't have enough contrast here. So I think what I want to do, so either I need to darken these trees or lighten the sky. So I think what I'm going to do is lighten the sky. So that's a little better. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do my pink tree here. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to start it much richer than it's going to end up. I'm going to start it red. And the reason I'm doing that is that I can always pull it more toward what it really is, but I think it might be nice to have this red undertones. We'll see. It's just a guess. question is, do I want to leave it right now, or do I want to, maybe I'll come back and add some other stuff to it right away. And I know I need something even lighter on it. The thing about using fixative, which I know a lot of people don't use, a lot of pastel painters don't use it, and I do worry about how bad it is for you. And if I wasn't so lazy, I would try to find my, you know, you can wear like a mask while you spray. It's not really such a big deal. I don't know, I don't know where mine is. Okay, and that's that sort of shrubbery business back there. Okay, and I want to get in those pine trees, because that's, well, I'll do this too right now. So with water, you want to start with the darks. And I mean, that's true with everything in the pastels, but start with the darks, sort of feel like you're working from the bottom of the pond to the top of the pond. Okay, I guess I could use this back here too. Wow. So a couple of things to remember about gray days is that really the only shadows are underneath things. So like under the tree here, under the bridge. Okay, so this is the start of the white tree. Another thing is, which I forgot to do, but if you have any sky reflections in your water, it's a good plan to do that at the same time you do your sky. So that's the only place right there. So people are always asking me if I use new pastels. I do have a few. This is one, and it's working just fine. So occasionally I do use a new pastel, but I wouldn't buy a set of them. I have some because they were given to me, but I don't know. I wouldn't buy them. Okay, so now, you know, I've got to do this bush here. I'm just trying to get the light on the top planes. Oh, shoot. It's broken half. I mean, the rule of thumb is that reflections are a little darker than what they're reflecting, because you're seeing the undersides of things. So you always want to just look and see what you see, but that's just something to think about. All right, that's got to be darker right in there, right along this edge. All right, so, okay, so I haven't done this yet, but I can't decide what I want to do. I guess I'll try some purple. Just wanted to get it dark enough. And then I need some darks under it. I think I'm going to leave out that little path right there. All right, gosh, grass. All right, I'm just going to start the grass with the same thing I used on the bush there. Oops, a tree comes down. All right, that green really kind of seemed like a little too much that I just used. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep using that same color. And I'm just gonna paint the bridge out for now, and then I'll come back and put it in. It's too much of a pain in the neck to try to paint the background around the bridge, so that's why I just took it out. Okay, and then we need to get this, this has to come down a little more. Get that shadow under there. All right, so I always feel like I just don't know what I'm doing until I get it all covered. And then once it's all covered, I can come back and start really comparing the colors to each other. So I think that I'm going to go back to the sky. I think the sky is still, get this other box over here. The sky is still too dark. So I just want to lighten it up a little bit. So this is some really soft pastel, so that's why I'm being a little more gentle putting it on. I'm not using very much pressure. right, let's see if I can make these guys purple. This tree more purple. Nothing. I got nothing. How can I not have a single right color? It's just unbelievable. All right, I'll try this. Just remember, you're not trying to make it perfect, you're just trying to make it better. So that takes some of the pressure off, right? Okay, well, that is better, I think. So better, I made it better. Let's see if this is, one problem, like this is a violet, but it kind of looks gray, so I don't really want that. That can be a problem with some of the purples, that like that one too. They just look too gray. But also compared to the pink that I used, that's probably part of it. Let's see what this does. Nothing. Okay, okay, moving on. I feel like if I just had this color a little lighter, this would be just the right color for the tree. Yeah, I think I need more blue in my sky too. Let's try this. So it's kind of hard to say what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of going around. I want to get everything another color on everything so I can spray it pretty soon. The thing about if you do use fixative, you don't want to wait too long to spray because, and you don't want anything to get more too finished compared to any other place. So because the fixative is going to knock it all down. So I want to keep an even, I want to have the same amount of work done everywhere. I don't want to let some places get really too finished. All right, well, that was a good color, so I want to keep that somewhere I can find it again. Let's see if this is different. All right, so that green is too light and too yellow, so I'm going to try to make it a little bluer. All right, so that's not what I would call perfect, but I think it's better. Let's see, I'll make this lighter too. Oh, thank God it fell in my paint box, my pastel box. You know, I'm not worrying very much about my strokes. You know, I talk about trying to make your strokes go with the form. And for one thing, I've got my easel up really high, too high for comfort, and it's just making it a little harder to make strokes that are horizontal. This is that new pastel again. All right, so I had light and shadow here, but I think I want to try to, it doesn't have enough volume, so I want to find something I could use to make an in-between color, a mid-tone or half-tone, half-light. It still doesn't seem bright. All right, I'll just try some yellow on it. It is a little bit of a yellowy bush. One thing I said I wanted to make that overlap there because I was trying to make that go back better, but one thing I didn't think about was that these two colors are very similar, so it would have showed up. Maybe I should have made it a lot shorter instead, and then had this light against the dark of the water. Okay, so I need to try to get this. Yeah, I may have to lower my easel. I've got it up so high, just trying to be sure I don't get in the picture too much. Oh, maybe this would be good for right here. All right, I'm gonna make this tree lighter too. So it's important in pastels to work from dark to light, to build up to your lighter colors. For one thing, it gives things more depth. And another thing is it's just easier. The lighter colors are softer, and so they go down easier on top of the darker colors. The darker colors are physically harder, so it's hard to use them. I guess there's a little more lawn back here too. But okay, so it's important to start with your darker colors and then work up to your lighter colors. But the other thing is that you need to know what your lights are. You can't judge everything without some of the lights in. So, you know, that's the lightest thing in the painting. So I need to get that. I need to get that brought up a little more to see if I've got all my other values right. So value is just the relative lightness or darkness of a color compared to everything else in the picture. And value is a part of color. So you could have the value right, but the color wrong. But you can't really have the color right if you don't have the value right. Yeah, I think that's right. So value is part of color. So in order for the color to be right, the value has to be right. But if you think about black and white photography, the values are there, but no colors. So the value can be, oh my God, I'm having a hard time getting this out. The value could be right, but the color wrong. But for the color to be right, there needs to be, the value needs to be right for the color compared to everything else. So it's a relative thing. It's not absolute. It depends on what else is in your picture. So I'm just still trying to make these trees back here silhouette darker against the sky. And there's more light right here. So I like to paint with a full range of values. I like to use everything I have, from my darkest dark to the lightest light I have available in my paint box. But you don't have to. You can paint in a low key, just like music. You want to paint in the key that you enjoy. I was trying to decide, I guess I want this little path. Maybe I'll just put it in for now and then. Ay, this is a complicated picture. I mean, I guess I knew that when I started, but all right, I still don't love that. What am I gonna do? All right, that's like way too much, but I kind of like it better. It's too much like this. Can I get this any lighter right now? Yeah, I can. Oh, do you like it? All lined up even, Stephen? Okay, now that relationship seems better, and I never added another color back there, so I better go do that. Yeah, these are really drawing strokes there. Yeah, I'm going to add some of that into here too, because this is all such a weird color that. Okay, I think that's what I used before. All right, could probably work longer without spraying it, but you know, I think I'm just gonna go spray it. And I'm just using the Blick fixative today because that's what's sitting right by my easel. That's not a good way to make decisions, by the way, but it's the reality. Okay, so I sprayed it pretty heavy, and now I'm going to come back and I'm going to start with the sky again, and I'm going to bring up the lights. And I'm working pretty much from the back to the front, because that allows me to put things on top. So the things that are literally on top, the strokes will also be on top. Let's see, I want a little more blue in it maybe. So the fixative gives you a new surface to work on, and it darkens the colors significantly, and that's why I don't spray when I'm at the end of my painting. I only spray when I'm going to work on it all again. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put just a little, I'm actually think I'm going to use some real white here, just a Rembrandt white, not my soft white yet, but I just need to know a little bit a better idea about what my lightest light is. Okay, so then I'll go back now and let's just try a little white on top of this and see what happens. So this new surface, I hope you can see the way it breaks the color, which is a real hallmark of Impressionist painting, is broken color. So the fixative just kind of makes that happen naturally, and that's how I decide when I need to spray again, is if I lose that kind of feeling of depth because the colors are layered on top of each other and they're not really blending. Okay, so now I just need to go back to my trees that are behind me, in the distance there. I think they're a little too dark. They look good dark, but I think they're a little too dark. Oh God, I was going to redraw, but I will when I need to, when I get to places that need to. Maybe it doesn't look as bad to me as it did right when I walked out the door. Okay, so that's a little too light. Let's try this. Yep, that got a little out of control. I don't think I'm going to go that far. Wow, I think I'm just going to try some white in the sky too. Okay, now I got to figure this out. Holy cow. So honestly, I mean, I kind of know what I'm doing because I've painted for a really long time, but I'm also always want to feel like I'm experimenting and not just painting what I know. So I'm really trying to look and see. And it's hard for me to get this color without this color. And I just can't get that color right. It's more like I'm trying to get the value right here, but I don't have the right color. I feel like I just don't have I guess I need to go dig around in my pastel boxes some more. It's just, it's more purple, but every purple I put on it looks gray. No, that's so not true. I was thinking maybe if I put some darker reddish purples in, it would help, but that's just not true. Oh, that's not too bad right there. So about at the end of my rope here on that tree, that is the other thing, is once you've sprayed it, it doesn't, you fill in the weave of the paper quicker each time you spray, so. Okay. It's fun, but it's hard. But being hard is what makes it fun. All right, so I just come back and work on these trees. I'm just using the same green I had before, but look how much lighter it looks now. That looks really silly. And then I'm going to use that on the shrubberies. I just feel like I need one more thing back there on those trees. Just something. Is that kind of a gray? Not just kind of a gray, this is a gray. All right, I'm gonna work on the grass back there. And then I'll redraw my bridge and stuff. Don't know what color the dang grass is. Okay, better. I think that's better. Oh, I just noticed something too, that my my little pathway needs to be a little darker right in there. So that the shadow doesn't stop. The shadow on the grass doesn't stop when it gets to the, I don't know what to call it, the edging there. Okay, so I'm just putting in a few little rocks here along the edge. I forgot them or didn't see them before. Try to get that perspective right. All right, so we need some more dark greens in the water. And I guess I need to lighten up the tree reflection in the water. Look at that. That's not too bad. But I can't really work on the tree anymore. Well, that is way too hot, but I think it looks good. But I'm going to cool it down. I think this is a purple. It looked purple when it was sitting on the table, but it looks pretty gray when you put it up there. And I need some lighter places in my water, but I don't want to get too carried away. Lighter places on my tree in the water. So you can maybe also hear the difference in the sound that the pastels make after it's been sprayed. It's a little grittier sound, maybe. Okay, and then I want to brighten up the sky reflections in the water too. I don't know, thought I'd just drag a little light over it. You know, I just feel like I'm going to put off drawing still a little bit longer, but I can't really work right in there until I do something about it. But I might have to redraw with my, I might not be able to redraw from right over here. All right, so I need a stronger green in here. Yeah, the greens in the spring are so yellowy and well, the famous description of it is lizardy. I don't know if you just saw what I just did. I picked up something and I just made a tiny little mark right there just to test it, and I saw that it was too dark. So sometimes you'll see that people test off the edge of their board, like on their board, not on their painting. But for me, I need to test right in the spot where I'm planning to use it. If I'm going to test, I don't usually test anything, honestly. I just go for it. But yeah, because for me, it just doesn't seem like it makes sense to test over against the dark board a color, because it's just going to look so different out there than, I mean, you can see a few places maybe around the edge of my board where I've done some things like that, but it's more like I was trying to clean off the edge of the pastel before I used it. Oh my gosh. Okay, just ignore that for now. Okay, there was another little test, the same thing, the same pastel, I think. The same, it looked light on my, down here on my box, but it looked dark when I put it up here. All right, so I need a little more shadow. That wasn't dark enough. Oh my God. I lost my rock reflection. Let's see if I can lighten this up too. Oh, yes, I can. Yeah, I can't do much more there. Nope. Just leave it alone, Jeneane. Leave it alone. Ugh, I am not loving this thing. This bush. You just ever feel really sorry you put something in a painting? I'm feeling pretty sad about this right now, but ooh, I want to use some of that back there too. Okay, I've got to redraw. All right, so I've got to buy charcoal too. That's another thing I've got to do. All right, so really, this comes right up to here. Okay, so this one. Oh, I can see some drawing mistakes now that other drawing mistakes. But it's not really the end of the world if a shrubbery is in the wrong place, because who knows? Nobody knows. Not even people that hang out here all the time know. All right, so this is the middle of the bridge right there. You know what's so confusing is that there's the other side of the bridge too, but wow, I made some real mistakes, didn't I? So there you go. That might be why it was important to draw the bridge in sooner. Okay, so such a mess. Okay, so I'm just gonna all right, and then my my little path is not coming off the bridge, so I gotta move that a little bit. Thank you for not falling to the floor. This is kind of a lie, but I want to give a little more volume to the bridge. A path that takes you directly into a shrubbery. That can't be good. No, you are not light enough. Oh my God, all these greens are just too much the same. Okay, that's a little better. That sends stuff back better. I don't know. Like I say, you can't have a path that runs directly into a shrubbery. that could be sort of acceptable. I just wanted to pull that forward a little more. Okay, so over here on this thing, this white tree thing. All right, I think I'm gonna call it quits for now and spray it and then do another part to the demo. Yeah, everywhere I sort of work, it's a little, getting a little mushy. I just wonder, could I make the sky any brighter at this moment? No, that's not the right color. Okay, maybe I'm tired. Maybe it's time to quit. Because, in the words of the great Charles Hawthorne, you can paint when you're unable to focus, but what's the point? All right, thanks so much.